What?
She's coming later?
Yeah, she's coming at like 4.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So all sorts of stuff. But, I mean, are you ready to start?
Yeah.
All right.
I gotta sit. This chair's funny.
All right. So.
Do I look into it or look?
Oh, no, you look into it.
Okay.
So, what is your name? Where? Yeah. I mean, you want to. What is your name? Where you grew up? And what was your unit? What was your unit or your units? And what was your branch?
Answer all those?
If you want. Yeah.
Okay. All right. My legal name, Sadika Aisha Hannigan.
Hannigan?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I come from East Side, Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the 40th and Scoville, Carver Park projects. And I moved with my parents and on Harvard, 142nd, East Side, Cleveland. And what was the other question?
Oh, it was just what was your unit or your units and branch?
Okay. I enlist as an Army reservist. I was in the 350th unit in Canton, Ohio. And
it's the Army.
Yeah, Army.
Yeah.
And what was the next? I can't keep up with all those
questions.
Oh, no,
it was just like just your unit and your branch. That's it for the first question. I guess it's just like some basic background info. So thank you for that. And so starting off, can you tell me about where you grew up and what it was like, and what are some memories that stand out from your childhood that sort of shaped you into the person you are today, or the person that you were when you went to the military?
Where I grew up.
Yeah, like what was that kind of environment like, I guess I should say.
Well, I grew up in a project, so the environment was a community environment. My family were all there, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. We grew up amongst real wonderful, kind people. It was a different time where there was a quality of respect and honor, and it was a real safe place. So in an area that breeds so much tension and violence that the media put out for people to be scared of.
Yeah. It was a very safe place, is what you're trying to say.
That's what I said.
Yeah. And then, so who was the single most important person in your life, and can you sort of tell me a little bit about them?
Okay, so I'm just going to use this single most important person growing up was my cousin, and she was important because she was a role model for me in embracing the Army. She was 6 years older than me, a genius, went to Ivy League high schools, and my father and everyone, she's my cousin on my father's side, and everyone's proud of her, and so she was just like the example of how my life should go.
Yeah.
And that's how my father pretty much wanted me to represent. And he got to the point, whatever she was doing, it was like, if she's doing it, yeah, that's good for you too. That kind of mold in him. And one thing, my father and my family come from a military family anyway, Army.
Yeah.
And we pretty much valued those particular traits that you get from the military.
Yeah.
Discipline, order, excellence, so many good things. So I said I would do it. He wanted me to go to college take ROTC and come out as a second lieutenant.
Yeah.
And I also, at that age, about 17, when I started really looking at where I should go in my career, in my life, I was a practicing Buddhist. I practiced Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism. And I was really into the whole idea of world peace and chanting and just understanding those principles about Buddhism, which also strengthened me in understanding, especially as a teenager, there's no one else to blame but myself. I created the thoughts, and from those thoughts, I even got good effects or not so good effects, but it's no one's fault, whatever it is. So that was really important to me to understand that I'm the owner of all my situations and experiences through my choices.
I know you mentioned that you come from a military family. Is there any one particular memory that you have that changed your perception of the military sort of drastically, or has it always been one kind of singular thought or idea that you had about the military?
Okay, so I was in college and I was becoming into the awareness of my identity. First, as a Black woman, and I was at Kent State University. And then as this peacemaker, and then as a warrior. So I had to put all that together and make it me. And when I went July the 15th, 1987, I arrived at Fort McClellan, Alabama, and I saw from my enlisted eyes what the military was from that getting off that bus. I saw what the military really was about in a more, oh my God. I asked for it though, everything. I asked for it. I wanted to go and study war and know everything about war so I can get a better meaning in my Buddhist practice on how to bring peace on the earth. And that was my focus. And the first day, war was right there, getting off the bus, and all those drill instructors and hollering. And I came with my conscious self and my Black identity and micro braids. And that was not regulation in the military at that time. So my drastic experience was having scared recruits because of the command that the instructor who told me I looked like, he hollered at me and called me Kizzy. And he told me I have 1 hour to take all these, not even an hour, it was like 15 minutes to take all these braids out. I woke up and I found out everything that I learned about who I am and what I am at Kent State University at the Pan-African Center called Oscar and Richie Hall. It came true on that day. I had all these recruits pulling on my hair, taking all these braids out. They were so scared, crying, everybody's hollering, and all that energy went in my head.
Yeah. Mentioned that you came in 1987 to basic training. So I want to jump a little bit back in time, and I want to ask you, how did you decide to join, and why the Army?
Well, I decided to join the Army because I come from a military Army family.
Yeah.
And because of my cousin being the role model, she's showing me that you can do this. She made captain. And I felt that I can also, through my Buddhist practice, understand war in conflict and reach a real accomplished solution about how to make peace on earth, how to bring about peace. It's almost like a Wonder Woman story.
Yeah.
When the Wonder Woman story, she fought Ares. Remember, I'm still like 17, and we didn't have the technology that we have now, and so I was still a young mind. I just finished playing with dolls at 15, so we were very much still into superheroes and things like that as a teenager. And so Wonder Woman was my superhero.
Yeah. So Wonder Woman was sort of like a role model for you.
Yeah.
And so right before, going back to just a couple more questions before, when you did enlist, what do you remember about the day you enlisted? Is there anything that stands out to you from when you told, like, that recruiter, I guess, you're going to join?
I remember roots. And I remember what my ancestors went through.
Yeah.
And I was in it now.
Yeah.
I was in that.
Yeah.
And so it became scary. Yet I still remember what we call chanted. What I focus on is to remember or to learn war so I can understand a better way towards peace.
Yeah.
So I took it personal, but I didn't have time to really take it personal.
Yeah.
I just had to ship up and be what they told me to be and do.
Yeah. I mean, that must go against, like, that must be a very hard thing to, like, have, like, identity and just being, like, have to change it just suddenly. And so, how did you tell your family and friends that you're joining the military? I mean, I know you're from a military family, so maybe it was just sort of like a routine thing, I want to say. And are there any conversations that you had with your friends, like, they were like, you're going to do this and you're going to do fine, or any conversations that stood out?
My best friend, we were in our first freshman year at Kent State.
Yeah.
And we were looking to pledge a sorority. But I was in ROTC. She was in ROTC too. She was in the Air Force. I was in the Army. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go and just enlist. They had this little split option where you can enlist in the first half, you do the basic training, then the second half you do your ROTC.
Yeah.
I mean, not your ROTC, but your job training. And so I thought that would work for me. And plus it gave me money, tuition money for school.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I was 17, I was 18. And I took it back to my dad. And my dad was like, no, you're doing it the wrong way. You should have stayed in ROTC. He also was an Army Korean veteran. And sometimes I say I should have did it that way. But I felt like I can just, instead of going to pledge a sorority, let me go to the Army. And if I can go through that, and the hazing was big in the 80s. It was really big. And so if I can go through that hazing, let's see how well I can turn out in the Army and then go pledge. Remember I'm Army Reserve, so it's not like I'm coming back home, then I'll pledge afterwards.
And so, yes, we can skip that question because you already answered it. And so I know when you got off the bus, the drill sergeants, you said were yelling, and you saw a lot of different emotions that day. How did, after that, and when they made you take out and change your hair and change sort of your identity, you said, what was basic training like after that? Were there any poignant memories of it? Were there any like other moments that stand out to you about basic training, or just what was it generally like?
Um, for my experience,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it was very mean,
Mm-hmm.
cruel. Um, I had infantry instructors, drill instructors, and
Mm-hmm.
military police.
Mm-hmm.
So um, it was very hard. I I think Delta Company
Mm-hmm.
came out of Delta Company. Delta Company was the hardest company of training. So I
Yeah.
wanted everything. Remember, I wanted everything.
Yeah.
So
I want to be
um,
Wonder Woman, you know, like.
what I wanted to understand everything.
Yeah.
So it was that for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was mean, cruel,
Mm-hmm.
um, um, very fast. One thing about
Mm-hmm.
me being in practice of Buddhism and all
Mm-hmm.
that, war and peace can't be together.
Yeah.
Either you're going to be in the mindset of war or mindset of peace.
Mm-hmm.
So those practices faded from me.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of took over me is being able to do as I told,
Mm-hmm.
move and be ready when I needed to be ready to execute whatever
Mm-hmm.
was given to me. Um, it was very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the 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 best and worst experience ever ever challenged in my life
Mm-hmm.
to develop in myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a nutshell, it did make me a warrior.
Yeah. So that year is 1987.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a big gap there from 1987 to, I presume, 2003 or even later. Um, I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna like improvise some questions here. What made you want to stay in the reserves after your first sort of like term was up, I want to say?
Okay, I finished in 1995,
Mm-hmm.
and 1991, I came from that few minutes of that Iraq conflict that
Yeah.
we're in, and at that time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a reservist. I moved to Washington D.C.
Mm-hmm.
and I was stationed at another unit,
Mm-hmm.
2290th.
Yeah.
That's in Rockville, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now in various areas
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of military influences around me,
Mm-hmm.
and I end up being activated for Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was going to Howard University.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I did what I said I was going to
Mm-hmm.
do. I left Kent State
Mm-hmm.
because of certain things that happened
Mm-hmm.
during my basic training.
Yeah.
I left the state of Ohio and I went to Washington, D.C. And when I went to Washington, D.C., I went because I also took this test
Mm-hmm.
for the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 4-hour test, 11-page application.
Mm-hmm.
And I did well. And they sent me to their headquarters in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And so I worked at the FBI headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to Howard University at the
Mm-hmm.
same time.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty busy schedule.
Yeah.
And yet I was moving well to be expected and what occurred in basic training and all that.
Yeah.
I was moving very well
Mm-hmm.
in the traumas of, things that I inherited from the military that shouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the hazing
Yeah.
that the military does
Mm-hmm.
is worse than sororities. Yet it's changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that stuff has been definitely found and pulled out the military.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those things they did.
Mm-hmm.
So being in the military, being in an environment in Washington, D.C., going to Howard University, still understanding who I am and what I am, and yet I came into this consciousness of forgiving the madness that did take place and allowing myself to let it go and just accept what it is, keep moving, and stay honorable.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like refocus my mind here. I'd never clarify if it was you served in the first Gulf War or the second Gulf War. First, yeah. Okay, that would make more sense. That was the
right.
There. And so when you heard that war broke out in Kuwait, what was your first kind of reaction?
At that point, I'm between civilian and military now because I'm home. It was more of training. It was more of duty. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I'm ready. That kind of thing. I wasn't going to change my mind or anything because I really didn't know what it all entailed. I never been to war. I never knew. I just know that I'm in an environment and just be ready when you need to be. So I didn't know what that entailed.
And so, also, I don't know if this was before or after that moment, but you are a combat medic. How did you sort of get placed into the role of combat medic, and how did that work?
Well, so I went on a summer job in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Where they allowed us to understand different occupations for the summer.
Yeah.
And my grades were pretty much higher in the sciences. And I chose to, and my father always wanted me to be a doctor. So I chose to work in sterile processing, which is connected with the whole hospital really, but mainly the operating room. So I learned the instruments, I learned the autoclaves, sterilization process, spores, and all the things that I needed to learn to possibly, when I finished high school, have a job in sterile processing. And it was very good summer training. And from there, I end up, finishing high school and all that and becoming a nurse. I didn't want to be a doctor because I felt it would be too much school. I don't want to have that kind of commitment. And so I end up going into nursing.
Okay. So, given all of that, when did you learn you were going overseas?
For my, I can't think what date and all that stuff, but we were in a drill and our, commander let us know we've been activated, we'll be deploying and all that. And I was just more like, what is this? As most of the soldiers were happy. They were happy. I was more like, what I get myself into. Not remembering no more like the function and the purpose of what I wanted to do because I have gotten so far from that idea of wanting to be the great person.
Yeah.
Because of the nonsense that I had to walk through.
Yeah. And so how did you tell, I guess, your loved ones or your family that, like, hey, I'm going to, like, a war zone? How did you tell them that?
I didn't.
You didn't?
You can't tell your family when you deploy to nothing. So I couldn't tell nobody. And it let you know you can't tell nobody. It's missions.
Yeah.
So they found out when the Army let me find out. And there was nothing too much at that time. Now, at that time, remember, I'm a reservist. At that time, when I came in, when I left Ohio and moved to D.C., at that time, I end up embracing Islam. So, what a course of actions of things. So, it was during that time where Islam was least understood, but yet we're going to fight in Iraq. So, I fought in the military from my right to wear my hijab, just a scarf.
Yeah.
And of course, my first sergeant, he was like, "I don't know what you up to, but it better be up and up, with what's going on. And if I find out if it's anything different, that you're something else, they were gonna handle it." But I end up being the first woman to actually be able to wear hijab. And I had that right. So it was a lot of Jewish women that said, "Hey, how did you get away with wearing a scarf on your head?" And I showed them, because I had to carry these orders of, this regulation of allowing me to wear it. And once I showed them, and I remember all of them just smiling at me. And, they were Jewish women, and here we are together saying, okay, we got a voice in this too, because the men were able to wear the yarmulkes and different things. So it's like, okay, females, we want to wear this. And so they immediately went to their departments and asked to be able to wear their scarves.
So you made like a really positive change there.
Yes, yep. That would never, ever be told. So you're hearing it first here from me. I've changed so much.
Yeah. I mean,
that was a bold move.
Yeah. I
got a lot of repercussions. I mean, I couldn't work the day shift. It was a lot of people spitting on me. I got a lot. So I really respect our Constitution and this, way of giving us the freedom to express our religions and just be who we want to be, in accordance to it being where it doesn't, how can I say, hurt or, harm others in it, So, and I had to go on night shift and work, and it was a real wake up. But my first sergeant used it for a good thing, because I was part of the sensitivity training for the men who went, and I taught them how to address women, not to dress women, just different things they need to know. And that was where I functioned in when I was in Iraq and all that.
And so you're going over to Iraq, well, I'm going to ask, did you, I guess you were in Saudi Arabia? Or like where were you?
Listen, I did a lot, but nothing really. How can I say? If anything, they sent me back. They sent me back to the States. I'm going making Hajj. Yeah, I went to Saudi Arabia. I made Hajj. I was... Yeah, so I had a whole different, unique experience. And in the middle of... Remember, it only lasts a few minutes, truly. We saw it on TV. It was like over. Yeah, like 20 minutes. And I don't know. It was over. And so it was a lot of moving and, good drill here, because we didn't really do anything in a big way. But, it was enough where what we did was enough damage to be able to, come on back home sooner than we thought we would. So, all good for that. Yet, we had to go back and finish up what we didn't do.
Yeah.
So it's, in its own essence, I had a different experience. And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world. I was able to go to London.
Oh, wow.
I was able to travel in uniform, in my hijab. And I was highly protected. Highly protected, going across different, countries and different places.
Mm-hmm.
I had Muslims, who would say, "You're on the wrong side." So it's, people just like, we don't know about her. Let's send her back to the States.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened.
So how do you know tentatively how long you were in like Saudi Arabia or like in that kind of area?
I was there for about 20 days.
20 days, yeah.
I stayed in overseas for about 3 months and got sent back.
Wow.
Some things I had to train for and things like that, preparations.
Mm-hmm. And so, I'll just like ask because I don't know if you did any other medical stuff. I'm not too acquainted with that. Did you ever take care of, there were very, very few casualties in the first Gulf War, but did you ever deal with any like Iraqi or U.S. casualties? Or did you kind of like operate or see them? Anything like that?
I was ready, and yes, some did come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did. But like I said, it was really quick.
Yeah.
It was over, and we all was now just breaking down. I was in a MASH unit.
Yeah.
It's called, like if you see the TV show MASH,
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Yeah, Korea. Yeah.
So people laugh because operating room was fun, yet serious.
Yeah. I mean, you must have seen some like stuff there. I mean, operating on like casualties and whatnot. And I don't know if you ever. Well, let me rephrase this. I don't know if you ever. I mean, because you said you saw like Iraqi soldiers or like operating on them, or not really.
They were not really in our
area. Yeah.
But there were some that they were all around me. So,
yeah. Did you ever have any like interactions with them, or like did you talk to them at all? No. Not really. Yeah.
They'll just whisper, "You're on the wrong side."
Oh.
In their language, and I understand Arabic too.
Oh, you understand?
I understand a little bit.
Yeah. That must be like a pretty interesting experience, being a woman that converted to Islam, and
worked
then
at the FBI.
Yeah.
Did all of it.
Yeah, it sounds.
So I was a special.
I've never heard
special
of
treat.
Yeah.
I got to work with special operations, and didn't really do anything, but because of my skill, I was part of the medical corps, and those guys were there already. So, I got a chance to work with airborne, special forces. Brief time.
That's pretty cool. And so, being overseas, what was one, I guess, like, I was going to ask, like, any other, like, distinct memories that you might have about being overseas? Like, any, like, fun, sad experiences just that stick out to you?
No, it's just...
Not really? It's just...
I pretty much, it's like a sandstorm. Not you there, but you're not there.
Yeah, it was also quick, I guess.
And the things that do stick out, you really can't talk about.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. And then, and so when did you get, I guess, coming back? That was like a very, very quick thing in Saudi Arabia, but you spent 3 months overseas. It's a pretty long time. And then once you come back,
that's not long.
Not long?
Nah.
3 months?
Matter of fact, 6 months is average.
Yeah, I mean, but like, to me, as a civilian, it's still a good amount of time. When you came back, when did you decide, like, I'm gonna get out of here? Like, I'm out of the army.
I got married.
Yeah.
And I was in the reserves. My mom called me back to Cleveland and asked me to, come home. And, at that point, I was ready to go back home. A lot of things happened. And so I came back home. I stayed in the IRR. After that, I became a conscious objector of it. And so they put me in the IR, which is a control group. I can finish out my term.
Uh-huh.
And I got married to a Muslim. And I hid under those hard traumatic times. I kind of regressed them. I stuffed them.
Yeah, stuff them down.
Where almost I couldn't remember. Like I can't remember because I stuffed a lot.
Yeah.
And I moved on in my life, being a civilian and doing the best I can to just stay afloat.
And I guess I might ask you, and I'll ask you this. Can you describe the kind of feeling that you had just like coming home, from being overseas for 3 months, just coming back? Is there like a feeling that you might have had?
I felt numb.
Numb?
Numb. I stayed in my room. When I came back to Cleveland,
Yeah.
At that time, crack had taken over our neighborhoods. I came back to a whole different neighborhood.
Yeah.
The people, African Americans that owned stores and all that stuff, they turned them over to Arabs. So it was like a war going on here, more so home than overseas. At least overseas, you can control some parts of the war.
Yeah.
It's kind of strategically put together. The war here in civilian world, it never stops.
Yeah.
No one's controlling anything. And it's a battle that goes on that I wish we could have a president or whoever to say, okay, we'll cease firing at this time. We don't have that here. It's a battle going on. So my neighborhood changed drastically. I remember at that time I'm Muslim too, so I remember going into my corner stores in different places, and I see Arabs selling pork and these things that they know they should not be doing, but yet they're doing it. So I came home to another war that was scarier than the war that I had left. I came home to something I couldn't bandage up.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring back my friends from high school that got caught up in the drugs, died, crack babies everywhere. It was a mess. So it was very depressing. I just stayed in my room because at that point I was just full of war. I was from my environment. From the environment, home environment, the environment overseas, I was just full of it. And it became more of a, let me just, I believe I embraced Islam so I can hide. Islam allowed women to hide in a lot of ways where, I can cover all up. And it's totally accepted. Matter of fact, it's reverent for you not to even be seen. So I embraced that because it was like a refuge for me to not be seen, to not necessarily be heard. I don't have to shake any man's hand. So it was more of that kind of retreat.
Yeah. And I guess, I'll ask some sort of wrapping up questions here. Is there someone you served with that you remember really fondly that maybe you're still friends with or you lost contact with, but you really remember them fondly? And can you just tell me a little bit about them?
Okay, so I didn't serve with her, but she was in she was my commander in my reserve unit. Yeah. And at that time, I believe she was major. And she lives over here.
Really?
Yes. Dr. Jordan. I tell you, I didn't know much, but I knew when I was in the military, it was hard for African Americans, let alone African American women, to go up rank so fast. Now people can get ranked so fast, but
Mm-hmm.
before you had to wait a long time. Some people will be maybe a E6 or E7.
Mm-hmm.
It took them 15 years to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now I guess like 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
you can move up the rank very fast, and I find it very, I don't know, it's different.
Yeah.
At least when you served in something for 15 years and you make rank, it's like at least they have some angle of definition in
Mm-hmm.
that particular rank that they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the experience is necessary more so than moving people up rank, because they got to tighten up their forces.
Mm-hmm. And you were talking about sort of being in like a dark place when you got back and staying in your room. Some of that must have been related to your personal life, and some of it must have been related to your service. And for people in general and other veterans, what kind of takeaway can you get from you being in that dark place, and how you came out of it, and what's sort of just one piece of advice that you think can really apply to veterans and people in general if they're in that kind of hard place?
Well, in the 1980s, 90s,
Mm-hmm.
You were pretty much dominated by the laws that govern the military.
Mm-hmm.
There was no one reaching to change those laws. What I would say, I mean, it takes. I come out and tell you I was military. I was assaulted in the military.
Mm-hmm.
There's parts of the military and hazing to make women stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And doing those things, they sometimes rape women
Mm-hmm.
to, and, I'm being a Buddhist coming in there. You can pretty much see where I am. But I was a strong, I was, how can I say, I was angry enough to know how to fight, because I was a fighter as well.
Yeah.
So, certain things happen where certain angles of war that has to be exposed on women leave them scarred.
Yeah.
And so I would say that in that dark place, yet I accepted it. It's strange. It was a strange thing to accept something that supposed to be a violation. You accept it as if you're a hero in it, because I maintained myself from actually, fighting off that. It was very serious, a very serious moment. I would tell a person to go within themselves and forgive themselves. It's so hard, because I remember what I wanted to do that helped me. Remember, I was already chanting. I was chanting to want to know about war. I want to know about conflict. I want to understand peace. And so the universe gave it all to me. They gave me the physical and the invisible symptoms of the wars. And so I had to walk in it and keep quiet, just like anybody's pledging a fraternity or sorority in those days of hazing.
Yeah.
You had to walk in it and keep quiet and don't say anything. And if I said anything, I would have lost my whole career, because the same people who did it are the same one who's going to judge you.
Yeah.
It's a fraternity. So I had to, stay strong. And then there was a group called Service Women Action Network, SWAN. And that group came about, I guess it was like in 2010. I connected with that group. And we were able to tell our stories then, because the rules was being changed.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that, allowed me to then step out and tell my story of what happened.
Yeah.
And it was so many of us, so I became strong in it. I would tell a person who's in that dark place to seek support from other people. It was, like I said, hazing was accepted.
Yeah.
So when you look at something like that, you look at it in a way that I made it through.
Mm-hmm.
I made it through, and it wasn't looked at as being inhumane because it's all part of war.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was hands down the most diverse, interesting interview I think I've ever.
I didn't tell you after that part.
Yeah.
In my basic training.
Yeah.
Okay, so now all the braids are out. All the stuff is out. My name then became Buckwheat. Okay?
Yeah.
I had to answer, here I is. And so it was very racially divided. Very much so. So it felt like I was moving through a plantation. Now I could understand what my ancestors went through to stay sane. They did what they was told, how they was told, and cried most of the night not to be called into those spaces and places where things happen.
Yeah. Well, it's every question I have.
I wanted let's say this though.
Yeah.
In forgiveness, everything really does clear its way back to sanity and peace for yourself. So I did get what I was looking for. Instead of seeing it outside myself, I gained peace inside myself. And in that, I would say, because of that, some of those various symptoms of issues that come with that type of trauma, I didn't have to experience it because I know from that first lesson in my Buddhist practice, everything that you choose has an effect. Positive, negative, good, so-called bad. And because I realized I chose to do this, I chose to want to understand war. So I put it back on me, and I was able to forgive the person who did it to me that quick. So I feel blessed. I feel honored. And even though that happened, I had to